All right, there you go. So you're gonna find yourself in a comfortable seat. And wherever you are, if you are seated, feel your sit bones rooting down into the ground or your pillow or prop. And have your hands on your thighs. So you can have palms face down for more of a grounding energy, or palms up for more of a receiving energy vibe. So whatever's calling to you right now. And let's simply land here in this space. We're gonna roll our shoulders down and back. Find some length in our neck and a little bit of a tuck to your chin to really lengthen through your spine. And even soften your eyes or close them. And start to bring your awareness inwards. Start to notice your breath. And start to lengthen each inhale and exhale. And observe if there are any areas where that breath gets stuck, or areas where you have lots of space and openness in your body. And see if you can breathe more into your belly and your lower ribs. So notice on those inhales, your ribs expanding sideways and even directing the air into your low back as well. And just feel more expansion in your torso. And let those exhales be passive, relaxed. And if an intention arises for you tonight, set that now. And that can simply be to breathe deeply for the next 55 minutes or so. Good. We're gonna take a couple clearing breaths together. So let go of all your air. And then big breath in, fill up your lungs. And then have an open mouth and exhale out your mouth. We're gonna do that again. So big inhale, really fill up belly and ribs. And exhale out your mouth. Good, now we're gonna keep breathing and open your eyes and let's start to roll our shoulders back. And a bit of movement. And maybe make it a little bigger, add your elbows. And maybe a little bigger if it feels good for you, big arm circles. And it helps me when I turn my palms up to the sky. It's a little bit nicer on your shoulder joint. And you can try going the other way. And if you really want to challenge yourself, try going one arm forward, one arm back. I'm going to get some coordination happening early today. Oh, did you get it? Try going the other way if you can. So one arm goes forward, one arm goes back. Nice, and then let that go. Whatever just happened, it's in the past. Let's take a big breath in with your right arm, bring it up and over. And shine your heart a little bit more to the sky. Good. Inhale, lift. And exhale, left arm over. Good. Inhale up. And exhale, bring both hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers and open up through your chest. Good. See if you can really relax your shoulders down or press them down. And you can let go of your hands and just let your head rock and roll from side to side. Good. And we're just going to stay on one side. So letting your ear come towards your shoulder, but then take your other arm and see if you can reach it more towards the ground. So you're really finding length on that side of your neck. And play around where your chin is. If you tuck your chin in a little bit more, you're going to get more into the back muscles on your neck. And if you lift your chin up, you're going to get more into the front. So find a spot that feels really juicy and good for you, and maybe breathe into that for a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly lifting your head back through center and over to the other side. And stretching that opposite arm down. So again, find that length in your neck. Ooh. Sometimes giving a little massage helps too if you have a lot of stuck energy in those muscles. And play around with your chin so you can tuck it in a little or lift it up. And see if you find any spot that needs a little bit of attention. And breathe into any of those tight muscles and allow them to let go. And then slowly bring your head back up. And if it feels okay, let's look up towards the sky, stretching to the front of your neck. And then slowly bring your chin to your chest and stretch the back of your neck. And sometimes it helps to add your hands on the back of your head for a little bit more pressure, only if it feels okay in your neck. And then slowly bring yourself up, give yourself a little shake. And we are going to come onto our hands and knees. All right. And do some cat-cow to warm up our spine. So on your exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head and your tail. Moving with your breath and make it feel really good in your body. And then if it's all right with you, maybe start going side to side. So exhale one side, inhale through center, exhale the other side. And then maybe play around with doing some circles as well. Use your intuition, whatever your body needs in this moment. Let's take 2 more cycles of breath. And then coming back to center, neutral spine. Let's walk our hands forward, keeping your hips high, and come into puppy dog. This is a nice shoulder opener. I like to tense my fingers to bring my arms up a little higher. Then I have more space to really come down and open up through my lats and my shoulders. And then bring your forehead towards the floor. Good. One more breath. And walk yourself back up. And we're gonna tuck our toes, and then you can even take your little pinky toes, make sure they're tucked, and sit back on our heels. So some of you may love this, some of you may hate this. We're gonna open up through the bottoms of our feet because they carry us through life and we often neglect them. So let's give them a little love. And if it gets too intense, you can always bring yourself forward a little bit. But if you can, try to stay seated on them. And we're gonna inhale our arms up. Exhale, grab your elbows, and then see if you can bring your elbows further back. So without letting your head come forward, so sometimes your chin is gonna wanna like reach forward. Try to just keep your neck in neutral, and then reach your elbows back, really opening up through your shoulders. Your feet are probably really talking to you right now. That's okay, keep breathing. Good, let's inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, let them lower. Walk yourselves forward, untuck your toes, and give them a little tap. Good, and from here, we are going to stretch out our wrists a little bit. So spread your fingers wide, have your palms facing forward, your fingers forward, and we're simply going to rotate our elbows. So the eye of your elbow is right here. So you're gonna see if you can rotate forward and then turn sideways with your hands on the ground. So you're kind of moving from your shoulder. Do that a couple times, and now turn your fingers outwards. And maybe a little rock side to side, stretching out your forearms. And you can do that rotation again, moving the eyes of your elbows forward and side. It might take a little bit to get that motion. It's something we don't think about doing very often usually. And now let's keep rotating your fingers. So you're gonna turn your fingers towards your knees and then start to lean back a little bit till you feel that stretch in your forearms again. I'm left-handed, so I often feel my left forearm is a lot tighter than my right. So you might notice that you're not symmetrical. And that goes for all parts of your body. Typically, we're not symmetrical. That's one good reason to do yoga. Help balance everything out. And slowly bring yourself up, peel your hands back, and we're gonna give our wrists a little rotation. Make circles. And the last one we're gonna do first is you're gonna have your palms up this time. So put the back of your hands onto the ground, fingers pointing towards your knees, and then start to lean back again. So now you should feel a stretch come to the back of your forearms, the top part. And you can make this a little more intense even by wiggling your fingers. Notice how that feels versus being still. Keep breathing. Good, and let's slowly feel ourselves up. And then just give your wrist a little squeeze. Squeeze on your left. And squeeze on the right. Good, and from here, we're gonna tuck our toes again. Yep. And you're gonna sit up on your knees. And we're gonna come into a camel. Okay, so there's a few options for camel. This is a nice heart opener. Option one is to have your hands come into your back pockets. So your low back, fingers pointing down. And we're gonna start by pushing our pelvis forward and then bring your elbows towards each other and shine your heart up towards the sky. All right, so you really wanna feel your pelvis pointing, pushing forward and your heart pushing forward. and elbows come towards each other. If this feels okay in your low back and you want to go deeper, you're going to reach your hands for your heels. And same thing, push your pelvis and your heart forward. Maybe your head starts to fall back as well, if that's okay for your neck. If not, keep looking forward. Good, take 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly peel yourself up. Your head comes up last if it's back. And let's bring our knees wide. Sit back on your feet and come to child's pose. Melt down into the floor. Whatever bubbled up, just let that go. Maybe rock your forehead side to side and massage it out. This is a great place to come to at any time if you want to rest. And let's spread our fingers wide. Tuck your toes and then up and back into a downward facing dog. And we're going to take a moment here to walk out our dog, bending one knee at a time. Reaching your other heel down to the floor. Oof, my calves are tight tonight. Making sure we're being nice to our wrists by pressing firmly into all of our fingers and our thumbs, especially your pointer fingers. And to keep your shoulders down, away from your ears. And think about squeezing your upper arms towards each other. Gently. It's just sort of an energetic feel. Good, and when you're ready, find some stillness in your down dog. Give your knees a little bit of a bend and then reach your tailbone a little bit higher. See if your spine lengthens here. And on your next inhale, we're going to ripple forward into a high plank. You can always come to your knees or keep your knees up. And then exhale, lower down to your belly. And again, you can always bring your knees down first. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, and we're going to come onto our elbows into Sphinx pose here. All right, so it's like you're watching TV. Bring your heart up, and then think about energetically pulling your elbows back towards you so that your heart can come forward. And if this is like you don't feel anything, you can come up into a cobra, so pushing into your hands and lifting up, keeping your pelvis heavy on the ground, and making sure you're going forward and up rather than just up. So then you're crunching into your low back. Take one more big inhale, and then exhale. Bring yourself down and push yourself back to child's pose for one breath. And then back into our downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale, right leg high to the sky. Bend your knee and then open your hips up to the right side. Reaching your left heel down to the ground. See if you can bring your right knee up a little higher. Opening up through those hips. Good, and then inhale, lengthen your legs, square your hips. And exhale, bend your knee and bring it to your nose. Hips come high and step your foot between your hands. We're going to come into a high lunge. Big inhale, lift up. Exhale, relax your shoulders, bend into that front knee. Good, let's bend our left elbow and pull our elbow back for a tricep stretch here. So finding length all the way from your left toes up through your hip flexor in the front of your body, and then through your left tricep. Good. Inhale, lengthen your arms up. Exhale, left hand finds the mat, right hand to the sky for a nice twist here. Always an option to lower your back knee or lower your top hand behind your back towards your left hip. And that can help rotate your heart more to the side. Good, let's inhale, lengthen your front leg, and swim your right arm forward, come into a bit of a pyramid pose here. So always keep a micro bend to that front leg. We want to think about pulling your right hip back a little bit, getting right into those hamstrings. Good, as you inhale, we're going to bend into your front knee, shine your heart forward. Then exhale, pull your right hip back, lengthen your leg. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull back. One more. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull back. And what we're going to do is bend into your front knee, walk your hands forward a little bit, and lift your left leg up towards the sky. Take a big inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold forward a little deeper for a one leg forward fold here. Okay. And you can challenge yourself if you like by taking one hand behind your calf, or maybe two hands behind your calf. Make sure your hips stay square. Your left leg is reaching up towards the sky. Maybe one day it'll go vertical. Maybe. Take one more big breath. Then bring your hands down and bring your left foot next to your right. And forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe even rock side to side and let that go. Yeah, we're gonna roll up nice and slow, ragdoll. Take your time. Roll your shoulders back when you get to the top. Good. Take a big inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, plant your hands and step back into your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, ripple forward to a high plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes and bring your hands palm down to your sides. We're going to inhale, lift your chest off the ground. Reaching your arms back. And if it feels okay, maybe lift your feet as well. Lift everything up. Use your strong back. This might be a very small movement for you, or you might be up as so high that you notice yourself rocking as you breathe. Wherever you are, you're doing great. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, lower down. And come back into child's pose for one breath. And meet in downward facing dog. And when you're ready, inhale, left leg high to the sky. Bend your knee and open up. See if you can see your foot underneath your right armpit. And we're going to see if we can lift our left knee a little bit higher as you reach your right heel more towards the ground. Notice that there's equal weight in both your hands. Good, and on your next inhale, lengthen your leg, square your hips, and exhale, knee towards your nose. See if you can lift your hips higher and step your foot between your hands. And if it didn't quite make it, you can use your hand to bring it there. And let's inhale, high lunge. Exhale, relax your shoulders and bend into your front knee. Okay, we're going to bend our right elbow this time and pull our right elbow back for a tricep stretch. Again, you're noticing that your back toes are planted firmly into the ground, and that's where you get all your stretch and your lift from. Okay, so pushing into those right toes, find length all the way through that right side of your body, your hip flexor. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, right hand to the ground, left hand to the sky. So you have an option on this side, so you can always lower your back knee, or you can bring your left hand behind your back to your right hip. And see if you can rotate your heart more towards the left. Nice gentle twist. What can you relax here? Good. Inhale, left arm up and swim it forward as you lengthen your left leg into a pyramid. And you might want to shorten your stance a little bit. So I brought my back leg in just a little bit here. In your pyramid, we're stretching those hamstrings. So think about pulling your left hip back, find more length. And as you inhale, bend into your front knee. Look forward. And exhale, shift your left hip back again. Okay. Inhale, warming up those hips. Exhale, pull back one more time. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And we're going to come into those front splits again. So bend into your front knee, walk your hands forward slightly, and lift your right leg up behind you. As you inhale, find length in your spine, and exhale, fold forward. So your supporting leg is always slightly bent. Try not to lock it. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can bring one hand behind your calf, maybe both hands behind your calf. Lift your right leg a little higher. Yeah, maybe one day I'll go vertical, who knows? Maybe it's already vertical. Nice deep breaths here. Take one more big breath in, lift a little higher. And then as you exhale, bring your right leg down to meet your left, forward fold, let that go. And option here is we're going to bring our hands underneath our feet. So you're bringing the back of your hand to the ground, and you're going to step your foot on your palm, so your toes are right at your wrist creases. You're literally standing on your hands. Inhale, find more length in your spine. And then exhale, maybe bend your elbows to the side and fold a little deeper. You can wiggle your toes, massage out your wrists. Relax your head down. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly come off your hands if you're standing on them. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. And then root your feet, reverse swan dive. Inhale, lift all the way up. Maybe a bit of a back bend at the top. And exhale, hands come down through heart center into your sides. Take a moment here in mountain pose. Maybe close your eyes. You just feel how it feels in your body right now. Noticing the energy moving through you. Maybe your heart beating in your chest. Come back to your intention if you set one at the beginning of class. Good. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see me a bit better. We haven't done this one in a while, but we're going to do some tree pose now. So you can shift your weight into your left foot. Lift your toes up, spread them wide. And your right knee is going to float up towards the sky and turn it out to the side. So option to have your foot on your calf. So either below your knee, or you can bring it above your knee. Place it on the inside of your thigh. Hands together. So what's important is that this knee is perpendicular. Pushing your foot into your leg into your foot. And then lift up to the crown of your head. Hands can be at heart, or maybe they reach up towards the sky. Finding a focal point. So a spot to look at with soft eyes that's not moving to help you balance. And if you really want to challenge your balance tonight, maybe you can close your eyes here. Notice what happens when you take away your vision for proprioception. And if you fall out of it, great, come back in. And take one more breath. If your eyes are closed, softly open them. We're going to slowly bring our knee forward. Don't let it drop. Kick it out in front. And then bring it behind you, warrior three. Maybe your arms come to the sides. Nice, and like a ninja, you're going to step your foot to the back of your mat and turn your toes to face that wide edge of your mat. All right, inhale. Exhale, lead with your chin, wide leg forward fold. Good, we're going to inhale, come halfway up and plant your left hand down. Inhale your right arm up to the sky for a nice twist here. And this right hand can stay up, or you can bring it to your low back if that feels better for you. Inhale, lift. Then exhale, right hand comes down, replaces your left. Inhale, left hand up to the sky. Or it's on your low back, if that's what you chose on the other side. Good, inhale, lift. And exhale, bring both hands down. Add a little bend to your knees, hands to hips. And then bring yourself all the way up. Heel toe your feet together and step to the top of your mat. And we're going to come right into the other side for our tree. So shift your weight into your right foot. Spread those toes wide. And float your left knee up. And bring it up to the side. So again, foot can either be below your knee, or you can bring your foot up above your knee, pressing into your thigh. Hands to heart. Finding that focal point, that drishti, as we say in yoga. Maybe your arms reach up towards the sky, relaxing your shoulders down. And if you did so on the other side, maybe try closing your eyes. Feeling your foot rooted down as you lift up towards the sky. What can you relax here? What can you release? One more big breath in. Exhale, let it go. And if your eyes are closed, softly open them. We're going to start to bring our knee forward. I'm just going to place it. Keep your leg in front. Can you bring it higher? And then start to bring it behind you, warrior three. You got this. And one more big inhale, lift up. And exhale like a ninja. Step to the back of your mat and turn your feet to the long edge of your mat. Good. This time, we're going to turn our heels in, toes out. We're going to bend our knees into what is called goddess pose. Okay, so your hands come up and you're going to get nice and low. See if you can bring your hips the same height as your knees. Woo! You got this. You feeling it? You come a little lower. Heart is nice and high. Breathe through any discomfort. You got this. One more big breath in. Let it go. And then slowly bring yourself up. Whew. We're going to heel toe in just a little bit so that you're not quite as wide. And start to come down into a yogi squat. So option is hands on knees, maybe elbows on knees, maybe all the way down. And you're pressing your elbows into your inner knees into your elbows, and see if you can bring your heart towards your thumbs. If you can, see if you can get your heels on the ground, but it's okay if they're not there yet. See if you can get nice and heavy in those hips while still maintaining the strength of your foundation. And when you're ready, let's gracefully find ourselves down onto the ground. And we're just going to do a little windshield wiper here. So your feet are as wide as your mat. Let your knees drop over to the right. And then back through center and over to the left. Moving with your breath. Good, one more time. Yes. And from here, plant your feet, plant your hands, fingers pointing towards you. We're going to lift up into a reverse table. So lifting your hips up towards the sky. Same option with camel. You can keep your chin tucked in, or if it feels okay in your neck, you can start to let it drop back and open up to the front of your neck. This is quite intense in the shoulders, I find, for myself anyways. So you can always come out of it if it's starting to feel a little too much for you. Take one more big inhale, lift your hips as high as you can. And as you exhale, lower down and give yourself a big hug, big squeeze. And then I'm going to turn sideways because we're going to come into, oh, maybe not. We're going to reach your left leg long and tuck your right foot in. All right. And you can remove any fleshy bits from your sit bones. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. And so wherever your hands land, if it's on your knees, your shins, your ankles, or your foot. And if you're quite tight in the hamstrings, you might even just be here with your hands by your hips. Okay. What's important is you find length in your spine so you're not super rounded and pulling yourself forward. Good. Slowly start to walk yourself back up. We're going to take this bent leg, cross it over, and then give your knee a big hug in. So you're thinking about pulling your knee across your body so you find length through this hip. So we have some options. You can stay here. Okay, this is great. You can tuck this bottom leg in. Okay. Only do this if you can keep both sit bones on the ground. You can also come into cow face pose. All right, so to come into cow face, you're actually going to stack your knees on top of each other. And I like to kind of come forward so I can stack my knees and then sit back. If you're in cow face, make sure that your feet are flexed. And then you can fold forward. So wherever you are, we're looking for a nice gentle stretch or deeper stretch, wherever you want to get to, in that right hip. Okay. And if you're in level 1, that's great. Do what feels right for you. Nice deep breaths. Good. Wherever you are, we're going to slowly start coming out of our shape. And we're going to bring our feet together and let your knees come wide into a butterfly. And it's up to you if you want your feet closer into your hips or further away. Do what feels right for you right now. And we're simply going to start to fold forward. And you can let your back round for this one. This is a really reflective pose, a shape where you can really go inwards, let go of your surroundings. When you're ready, we're going to start to slowly bring ourselves back up. We're going to come into the other side. So right leg goes long, left foot tucks in. Inhale, arms lift up. And exhale, start to bring your arms forward. So again, wherever they want to land, it's on your shins, your ankle, your foot. See if you can keep yourself square over that front leg. And hinge more from your hips rather than rounding in your back. And slowly start to walk yourself back up. So we're going to take our bent leg and we're going to cross it over. And plant your big toe down the ground. Give your knee a big hug. So you're pulling your knee across your body and finding length in your left glutes, your left hip. So option to stay here, or you can tuck your right leg in underneath and come into a pretzel. Making sure both sit bones stay on the ground. Or if you really want to feel a nice stretch in your hips, we're going to come into cow face. And that's when you stack your knees on top of each other. So again, I like to come forward. So I can get my knees on top and then sit back down, making sure you keep your ankles flexed so that you're not putting extra strain on your knees here. If you're in cow face, you can keep sitting nice and tall or start to come forward over your knees. Choose your adventure, and wherever you are, breathe into any tightness. Give it permission to let go. And if you tried something and you're like, yeah, not feeling it, always come back to a shape that feels good for you. There's no point pushing yourself and getting tense when our goal right now is to relax. Right? Listen to that wise guide inside. Take a couple more breaths where you are. And then slowly start to unwind. And we're going to meet on our backs. Give your knees a big hug in and maybe a little rock side to side, massaging out your low back. And we're going to do a happy baby tonight. So happy baby, you're going to bring your knees to the side, feet up towards the sky. And then you're reaching to the outside of your feet and pulling your feet down to the ground, your knees down to the ground, to your sides. And one thing that typically happens here is your hips come up. See if you can press your low back, your sacrum, down into the floor. Relax your head, relax your shoulders. And if it feels okay, maybe give yourself a little rock side to side. You can play with this a little bit. Maybe even straighten one leg, bend your knee, straighten the other leg. Have some fun in your happy baby. I can't help but smile whenever I do this one. Good. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe finding some stillness or continuing to play. And then slowly releasing your feet with your hands. Give your knees a hug again. And we're going to let our knees drop over to the right for a nice gentle twist. Your gaze travels over to your left. Opening up through your chest. So you might feel that stretch in your chest or your torso or your back or even that left hip. If you want a deeper twist, option here is to lengthen your bottom leg and then let your left knee really come over towards the ground. And when you're ready, let's slowly start to bring ourselves back to center. And let your knees drop over to the left. Our gaze travels to the right. Relaxing into this gentle twist. And if you did so on the other side, you can deepen the stretch by lengthening your bottom leg and then letting your right knee twist a little bit more. Nice deep breaths. Start to melt into the floor. Let go of any unwanted tension. You don't need it. Notice your jaw. Maybe even part your mouth slightly here to relax those jaw muscles. And we're going to slowly come back to center now. And if there's any shape or movement that your body is craving, now's the time to do that. Or my offering to you is to lift your legs up to the sky and bring your arms up as well. This is called dead bug. And if you have a little pillow or a prop that you can stick under your hips, that'll help to lift them up a little bit and take any strain out of your hip flexors to hold your legs up. This is a nice gentle inversion, and especially change of the season. We have our spring equinox that happened this weekend. A lot of energy changes right now. Anytime you're inverted, it really helps to flip that energy. Find some calmness, find some peace. And you can stay here for a little bit longer, or start to bend your knees and find yourself in our final rest tonight, Shavasana. Watching for me furry friends here. And start to take up space. Let your legs be as wide as your mat. Let your arms come out nice and wide. And start to feel really heavy. Spreading your back out along the ground. Close your eyes. And start to let go. Feel free to stay here for as long as you want, or start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head side to side. Maybe reach your arms overhead for a big full body stretch. And hug your knees in one at a time. Rocking onto your right or your left side for a few breaths before finding yourself into seated. And bring your hands to your beautiful heart. And take a moment to invite in gratitude. What are you grateful for right now? And thank yourself for showing up and joining me. It's my pleasure to guide you. Hope you have a great rest of your night and week. And I'll see you again soon.